7 rules of the Japanese method to always have an orderly home. Have you ever wondered how some people manage to keep their homes impeccably organized without any apparent effort? What if I told you that there is an ancient method that can completely transform the way you live in your space? The Japanese method of organization is not just a passing trend, but a philosophy of life that has helped generations create harmonious and functional environments. Today, I will reveal the 7 essential rules of this method that will revolutionize your home and, surprisingly, your mind too. These techniques are so powerful that when applied correctly, they will permanently eliminate that feeling of domestic overwhelm that we all know. The last rule in particular is so transformative that many people report significant changes not only in their homes, but in their lives as a whole. Stay until the end because I will share exactly how to implement each rule into your daily routine, even if you have a busy schedule. Are you ready to discover the secrets that will keep your home permanently organized? Tip 1. The designated place principle. The first and perhaps most fundamental rule of the Japanese method of organizing is the principle of designated place. This simple but powerful idea states that absolutely everything in your home should have a specific permanent place to be stored. No exceptions. Many of us accumulate clutter because we don't have a clear system for where things should go. We pick up an item, use it, and then leave it in the most convenient place at that moment, creating accumulation points all over the house. The principle of designated place nips this problem in the bud. When each item has its own home, organization becomes almost automatic. To implement this rule, start by observing the usage patterns in your home. Items that you use most often should be stored in easily accessible places, while those that you use rarely can be stored in less accessible areas. For example, in the kitchen, the utensils that you use daily should be in the drawers closest to the food preparation area. Appliances that you use only occasionally can be stored in higher cabinets or farther away. The real power of this rule is that it eliminates constant decision-making. When you're done using something, you don't have to decide where to put it. You simply return it to its designated place. This significantly reduces the mental effort associated with organizing. Over time, this habit becomes as natural as breathing. To work effectively, this system needs to be known and respected by everyone in the household. Take the time to explain the system to family members, showing them where each type of item should be stored. Children adapt surprisingly well to this principle when taught early, developing valuable organization habits that will last a lifetime. Remember, consistency is key. Even when you're tired or in a rush, making the effort to return items to their designated places prevents the gradual accumulation that would eventually require major reorganization. Tip 2. The 5-minute technique. One of the Japanese method's most brilliant contributions to home organization is the 5-minute technique. This rule recognizes a fundamental truth about human nature. We tend to procrastinate on tasks that seem large and time-consuming, but we are capable of committing a small amount of time to them without resistance. The 5-minute technique states that if a decluttering task can be accomplished in 5 minutes or less, it should be done immediately without delay. This simple principle prevents the gradual accumulation of small clutter that together creates a chaotic environment. Think of all the small tasks you often put off. Hanging up a coat instead of throwing it over a chair, putting away the mail instead of piling it on the entryway, washing a cup right after using it instead of leaving it in the sink. Individually, each of these actions takes less than a minute, but when put off, they create visual and mental overload that negatively affects your relationship with your space. To apply this technique effectively, develop the habit of asking yourself, can I accomplish this in 5 minutes or less? If the answer is yes, do it now. You'll be surprised at how many tasks fall into this category and how transformative the cumulative impact of doing them in the moment can be. This technique is particularly powerful because it works with the natural flow of daily life, rather than creating a separate organization system that requires a specific time. It integrates organization into your normal activities, making it part of your daily rhythm rather than an additional task. The psychological benefits are also significant. Each small task completed creates a sense of accomplishment and progress. Over the course of the day, these small victories accumulate, creating a positive cycle of motivation. You'll feel more in control of your environment and, by extension, your life as a whole. This rule also teaches a valuable lesson about the importance of small but consistent actions, which applies to many other areas beyond organization. Tip 3. The single category method. One of the most revolutionary practices of the Japanese organizing method is the single category approach. Traditionally, many of us organize by room or area, but this approach often leads to duplication of items and a lack of clarity about what we actually own. The single category method proposes a different solution. Gather all of the items in a single category, regardless of where they are in the house, and organize them all at once. This approach allows you to clearly see the total number of items you have in each category, making it easier to decide what to keep and what to discard. To implement this method, start by choosing a specific category, such as books, clothes, or paper products. Go through your entire house, collecting absolutely every item in that category. Place them in one place, such as your bed, or in the middle of the room. This gathering moment is often revealing. Many are surprised at how many items they have accumulated without realizing it. Once all of your items are gathered, examine each one individually. Ask yourself, does this item still serve its purpose? Does it bring me joy, or is it unnecessary? Be honest in your answers and separate items into 3 groups: keep, donate, sell, and discard. This categorical assessment creates an opportunity to reflect on your spending habits and your true needs. Once you've decided what to keep, determine the ideal place to store all items in this category. Remember the principle of designated place. Like items should be together, making them easy to access when needed. For example, all books can be on designated shelves, all tools in a toolbox or work area, all important documents in a single filing cabinet. Working by category rather than location also avoids the frustrating cycle of repeatedly decluttering the same areas without actually addressing the underlying problem. It's a deeper approach that leads to more lasting and satisfying results. While it may take more time initially, the results are much more permanent than a quick room-by-room cleanup. Before I continue with the next tip, I want to ask you a very important favor. If you are enjoying these tips, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive notifications of the next videos. Also, leave a comment telling me where you are watching from. Your comments help me a lot to continue bringing useful content like this. Now let's continue with more powerful rules of the Japanese method. Tip 4. The joy criterion. At the heart of the Japanese method of organizing is a profoundly simple yet revolutionary principle: the joy criterion. This rule invites us to completely shift our perspective on possessions, from asking, will this ever be useful, to, does this item bring me joy now? This seemingly simple shift radically transforms our relationship with objects and our space. When we apply the joy criterion, every item in our home must pass this emotional test. Take each object in your hands, feel it thoroughly, and ask yourself honestly, does this spark a feeling of joy in me? The response from your body and emotions will be clear and immediate. Items that truly resonate with you will create a physical sensation of upliftment, a small boost of energy, or a spontaneous smile. Those that do not elicit this positive response are likely just taking up physical and mental space in your life. This criterion is effective because it recognizes that our home is not only a functional space, but also an emotional one. The objects that surround us affect our mood, our energy levels, and our mental clarity. By consciously choosing to live only with items that bring us joy, we create an environment that constantly nourishes and energizes us rather than drains us. To apply this criterion effectively, you need to develop your sensitivity to joy. At first, it can be difficult to discern your true emotional reactions, especially if you are used to making decisions based solely on utility or monetary value. Start with easier categories, such as clothes or books, where the emotional reactions tend to be clearer. With practice, your ability to experience joy will become more refined. It is important to understand that the joy criterion is not an invitation to hedonism or consumerism. Rather, it teaches us to deeply value what we already have and to be much more selective about what we allow into our lives. Many people find that after applying this criterion, they end up with far fewer possessions, but with a much greater appreciation for each item they do keep. Tip 5. The philosophy of less is more. The fifth rule of the Japanese method of organizing embodies a principle that goes against the grain of modern consumer society. The philosophy of less is more. This approach is not just about having fewer things for practical reasons of space, but about deeply understanding how simplicity creates harmony, mental clarity, and genuine well-being. In the Japanese tradition, empty space, known as emik, is not seen as a vacuum to be filled, but as an essential design element that allows the truly important objects to receive the attention they deserve. This philosophy applies to both physical space and our experience of life. To implement this rule, start by questioning the automatic impulse to accumulate and fill up space. Before each new purchase, ask yourself, does this item add real value to my life, or is it just taking up space? Practice the art of leaving empty surfaces in your home, a coffee table free of excess decorative objects, walls with only a few carefully chosen pieces of art, shelves with space between items. Notice how these empty spaces create a sense of calm and openness. The philosophy of less is more also extends to the temporal aspect of our lives. When we have less to maintain, clean, organize, and worry about, we free up time and mental energy for the experiences that truly matter. Many people who embrace this philosophy report a sense of significant freedom, as if an invisible weight has been lifted from their shoulders. This principle teaches us to value quality over quantity. Instead of having a bunch of mediocre items, opt for fewer, higher quality pieces that will last longer and bring greater satisfaction in the long run. For example, instead of a drawer full of cheap kitchen utensils, choose a few high-quality ones that you'll enjoy using for years to come. Paradoxically, the practice of having less often leads to a greater sense of abundance. With fewer visual and material distractions, we become more aware of and grateful for what we have. Our attention and appreciation deepen, creating an experience of wealth that simply accumulating possessions can never provide. Tip 6. The entrance and exit ritual. The sixth rule of the Japanese method teaches us about the importance of moments of transition between the outside world and our domestic space, the ritual of entry and exit. In Japanese culture, the entrance to the home is considered a sacred space of transition, known as koskinkan, where we not only remove our shoes, but also symbolically leave behind the chaos and worries of the outside world. This rule recognizes that much of the clutter in our homes begins at this critical point of entry, when we arrive carrying not only physical objects, but also the energy and fast pace of our public lives. To implement the ritual of entry, start by organizing the area near your front door. Create a dedicated system for the items you frequently carry, a specific place for keys, a hook for each coat, a basket for mail, a designated place for shoes. But beyond this physical organization, develop a true ritual of transition. As you enter your home, breathe deeply and take a conscious pause. This moment of pause helps to stop the urge to simply throw things anywhere and move on. Taking a few seconds to put each item in its designated place creates a habit that prevents clutter from accumulating in the first place. Likewise, the exit ritual is equally important. Before you leave your home, take a moment to check that everything is in order. This small act not only ensures that you return to a tidy environment, but it also creates a sense of closure and completion before facing the outside world. Many people find that this morning ritual of tidying up before leaving sets a positive tone for the entire day. The beauty of this rule is its ability to transform everyday moments into mindful practices. Instead of entering and leaving your home on autopilot, you create micro-rituals that promote order, awareness, and respect for your space. Over time, these small rituals become anchors of stability amid the often chaotic pace of modern life. They remind us to transition not only physically, but also mentally between our various roles and environments, bringing more presence to both our home life and our outdoor activities. Tip 7. The practice of material gratitude. The seventh and perhaps most profound rule of the Japanese method goes beyond simple physical organization and goes to the heart of our relationship with the material world, the practice of gratitude for objects. This rule teaches us that objects are not simply inanimate things, but entities that serve and support our daily lives, deserving of our respect and appreciation. In the Japanese tradition, there's a concept that objects have a spirit or essence of their own. While this belief does not have to be taken literally, the practice of treating your belongings with respect and gratitude profoundly transforms your relationship with material possessions. To implement this rule, begin by developing awareness of how you interact with everyday objects. As you use an item, mentally acknowledge its value and function in your life. Thank your cup for holding your morning coffee, your chair for supporting you while you work, your clothes for keeping you comfortable and protected. This simple act of recognition creates a profound shift in perspective. When we practice material gratitude, we naturally begin to take better care of our possessions. We store things properly, maintain them when necessary, and repair them rather than hastily discard them. This not only extends the life of objects, saving resources and money, but also cultivates an attitude of sufficiency and appreciation that counters the consumption-disposal cycle of modern society. This practice also teaches us to recognize when it is appropriate to say goodbye to objects. When an item has fulfilled its purpose in our lives, we can thank it for its service and consciously release it, either by donating it to someone who will use it better or by disposing of it responsibly. This act of conscious parting eliminates the feelings of guilt that often make us hold on to things we no longer need. Material gratitude also connects us to the vast network of people, natural resources, and labor that make every object in our lives possible. A simple pen represents trees, minerals, design, manufacturing, transportation, and commerce, a complex web of interdependence that we so easily overlook. This awareness expands our understanding of the world and our sense of connection to it, bringing a spiritual dimension to our relationship with our material possessions. Before I move on to the next tip, I want to tell you about something special I prepared for those who want to go beyond this video. It's a complete guide with organization secrets that completely transform my home and can transform yours too. The link is in the pinned comment, and for a limited time, I'm offering a special discount for channel subscribers. Now let's continue with the next tips, which are some of my favorites. We have reached the end of our journey through the 7 rules of the Japanese method for keeping a tidy home. These rules are not just organizing techniques, but a philosophy of life that transforms our relationship with physical space and material possessions. When applied together, they create a self-sustaining system of order and harmony that requires much less effort than conventional organizing methods. The Japanese method teaches us that true organization does not come from complicated systems or expensive products, but from simple principles applied consistently and consciously. The principle of designated place eliminates the daily indecision about where to put things. The 5-minute technique prevents the gradual accumulation of small clutter. The single category method gives us a clear view of what we really own. The criterion of joy transforms our emotional relationship with objects. The philosophy of less is more frees us from material overload. The ritual of moving in and out creates conscious transitions that prevent clutter from starting, and the practice of material gratitude connects us deeply with the possessions we choose to keep in our life. Together, these rules not only create an organized home, but a space that truly nurtures and supports our best selves. A home that reflects clarity, intentionality, and gratitude. A home where every object has a purpose and a place, freeing up our mental energy for the things that truly matter in life. I invite you to get started today Choose one rule that resonates with you and begin practicing it consciously. Over time, incorporate the other rules until the entire system flows naturally into your life. The journey to a permanently organized home begins with one small conscious step. Which rule will you implement first?